Hello everyone. In this presentation, I am going to discuss my relationship with my partner Jose, our intercultural differences, and how those differences affect our communication. In his paper Challenges and Coping of Couples in Intercultural Relationships, Meyer discusses how some research suggests that intercultural couples face differences that ultimately lead to conflicts throughout the entire course of their relationship, whereas other research suggests that other intercultural couples will work through those differences in the beginning of their relationship. This is my partner Jose and I. We have been together for 3 years. He is a Mexican American man, and I am an American woman. So we have differences in our ethnicities and our genders. He is also a neurotypical man, and I am a neurodivergent woman. Also in his paper, Meyer discusses that most misunderstandings that arise in intercultural relationships stem from differences in pragmatic linguistics and socio-pragmatic linguistics. So pragmatic linguistics refers to the actual structure and grammar of words, whereas socio-pragmatic linguistics refers to the rules that govern the way that we use language and when different forms of language are appropriate. One fantastic example of this in my relationship is when making requests, I often use words like please and thank you, and I tend to have a softer tone of voice. Whereas Jose does not use words like please and thank you, and he tends to have a more stern, direct tone of voice. And I can often perceive this as rude when he makes requests. And when I ask him, he will let me know that he did not mean it that way. And over time, he has changed his language to fit better with my perceptions. So, social penetration theory is explained by communicationtheory.org as the theory that states relationships deepen over time through self-disclosure. In my relationship, one great example of why this is so important is in the beginning of our relationship, I was disclosing much more information than Jose was. And because of this, I felt that we weren't really creating the bond that I would expect to come in the beginning of a relationship. And after having conversations about this, Jose began to disclose more information with me, which deepened our bond. The explanation between the differences in our amounts of self-disclosure and how fast we disclose information is likely because of our gender differences, whereas I have been socialized my entire life to be more open. He has been socialized to be more closed off in order to appear less emotional. Uncertainty reduction theory also talks about the importance of self-disclosure. Communicationtheory.org defines it as the theory that states we are always seeking to reduce uncertainty in our relationships, and in order to do that, self-disclosure needs to occur. In the paper Relational Uncertainty and Relationship Satisfaction in Romantic Relationships, Tatsuya et al. Talk about how there is a strong correlation between relational uncertainty and relational satisfaction. And in order for a relationship to be successful, both partners must feel satisfied in that relationship. So, as a neurodivergent woman, I often struggle with rejection sensitivity and insecurity in my relationship. And in order to reduce this uncertainty that I feel, Jose and I will sit down and have a conversation. And whenever he discloses with me how he's feeling or what he might need, it gives me reassurance and it makes me feel more certain in our relationship and therefore strengthens the bond that we have. Social penetration theory and uncertainty reduction theory really show us the importance of self-disclosure and communication in relationships. When Jose and I have conflicts arise, it is very important for us to use skills in order to work through those conflicts effectively. Our two most important skills are active empathetic listening and effective conflict management through the use of supportive styles and communication. So when Jose and I have a hard time understanding each other's perspectives, we will sit down and prepare for a conversation where both of us are actively listening. In her book, Acosta et al. Talks about how active empathetic listening requires two intentional, emotionally involved, and open-minded participants in order to create a safe space. In order to do this, Jose and I will prepare for the conversation by putting down our phones and giving each other a little bit of reassurance that we are not going to judge them and that we are just looking to understand each other's perspective. And when we do this, we leave the conversation feeling stronger than ever um, because we both feel more understood and heard, and we can use those understandings to move forward in our relationship, in our communication. Because of our differences in perspectives, we are bound to have misunderstandings and conflicts. And when this happens, it is extremely important that we use effective conflict management. Acosta et al. Talks about how supportive communication styles and collaborative thinking are very important to move through conflicts effectively. And Meyer states in his paper that it is pivotal that partners in intercultural relationships identify a common goal and future to work toward. Jose and I always try our best to do this when we have conflicts. Once again, we will sit down and have a conversation, and the first part of that conversation is identifying our goal that we are working towards and understanding that we are collaborating with one another. We are not opponents. We are a team, and we have a goal to work towards as a team. Because of our use of these strategies, we have become a lot closer throughout our relationship, and most of our conflicts lead to us feeling stronger in our relationship with one another. So throughout this presentation, I have discussed and exemplified just how important self-disclosure is in our relationship in order to remain close to one another and ensure that both of us feel certain in our relationships. I have also discussed how empathy and active listening, as well as effective conflict management, have really helped us move through the misunderstandings that have arose because of our cultural differences. This presentation has really exemplified just how important it is for me to move forward in my relationship, continuing to use empathy to understand our differences in perspectives and to use active listening skills and effective conflict management to move together as a team. Always remember that we are a team, we are not opponents. Um, Jose is one of the most important people in my life. And because of that, I am determined to become a part of the research pool, which suggests that intercultural couples can work through their differences and go on to have strong relationships.